And we're now going to be talking to Tony Rabah, who is the CEO of the Male Hug. Excellent. So the Male Hug founder is Tony Rabah, an accountant and business advisor from Melbourne, Australia. His service of to his clients for the past 25 years gave Tony an insight into not only their financial matters, but also into their personal lives and mental consequences of financial hardship. Over the years, many of Tony's clients have turned to him for not only financial advice, but solace in the face of mental struggles. Tony, welcome.
Thanks, Eyal. Great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you here. We're really excited to delve in and find out more about the Male Hug. So just before we do that, I just want to encourage everyone to jump on our Q&A section. And if there's any questions that you want to post, you can post that on our Q&A section. That's one. And then the other thing that you can do is actually raise your hands, because we have a raise hand button down there. And what we'll do is we can get you on screen so that you can ask Tony a question directly. So very, very excited to have him on board. Tony, tell us, why did you start the Male Hug? Let's start there.
I guess as an accountant and a business advisor for many years, my boardroom has always been that safe space where many conversations were had with clients and predominantly for professional accountants like myself who dealt with so many different clients and then dealing with the ATO matters. And we were the conduit between the ATO and the client, and we dealt with a lot. And you'd go home of a night and you think, geez, I've gone through so much today. My own mental health really needs to be looked after. And for years, I've seen colleagues and clients and other professionals battle through the same thing. And it's been some time in the making. So August of 19, I decided to set it up and do it properly. And I've got some wonderful board members and volunteers that have jumped on to take the organisation to another level. But it was really to raise awareness and get professional men to talk and to really discuss what it was that was going on in their lives. And it's not an easy thing to do. And I get it. If you're a professional, you're a rock star, you're a superstar, you're an advisor, you are someone that people look to. And the last thing that you want to hear is that my accountant or lawyer or property expert is going through some stuff. But, I think we all acknowledge that it's a state of flux. It's constantly changing. The mental health, you might have a good day, you have a bad day, but it's nice to acknowledge it. And I say from the outset, we're not a crisis management service. We are encouraging people to talk. It's all about education and early stage prevention. So we want to get people that are just feeling a little bit overwhelmed or, I've got a lot going on, just to unpack, talk, let it out, talk to somebody.
Yeah, small business owners are really notorious to getting caught in the cycle of, doing things and not looking after themselves. And obviously mental health, creeps behind you and catches you off guard. It really does, because the stresses of running the business and working through that business can be quite challenging and obviously lead to that mental health side of things. What does mental health mean to you, I guess? Because obviously you've gone ahead and started this amazing organization for men. What does it mean to you?
Look, mental health is obviously, I said earlier, it's a state of flux. It's constantly changing. You have your days where they're good. You have your days where they're challenging. You have your days where you're feeling overwhelmed. So it's basically just responding to how you feel at the time and really acknowledging that, you're not going to always get it right. You're going to be challenged in life. And I think as men from a very, very early age, we go through different scenarios and situations that put us in adversity, and the challenge is to come out of those as a better person or a better version of the one that went in. And just acknowledging that, there might be something that's a little bit challenging and we need to actually address it, get on top of it before it gets on top of us. So it's really acknowledging things in the moment, being raw, being vulnerable, and being real. I think that's the big one, really being real. And blokes don't do that. They actually, they let it go. And before you know it, it's a couple of years down the track, and it manifests itself in ways that you won't be able to deal with. So getting in early is incredibly important.
Yeah, I definitely understand that feeling. I was definitely guilty of that. There's no doubt, because we men, we think we can do it all. That's the problem, and we don't have a platform. In Australia, I think it's even more harder. There was no platform around mental health or just opening up openly to have a good chat with another guy about these things is a lot more harder. Culturally, I find, stoic culture. There's in small business, there's tall puppy syndrome, which is even worse. It kind of plays towards that as well. So there's a lot of things there that actually play against for men to talk openly about mental health, and it's so important. Can't encourage it enough to just have that first conversation with anyone. So what type of support do you guys offer then at the Male Hug?
Yeah, sure. So we've got a couple of programs that we've been running. Our hero product, I guess, if you like, is our 1-800 buddy hotline that people can call up and speak to one of our trained buddies. So we've got a team of about 20 dedicated buddies that receive ongoing training. And there's a 1-800 4BUDDY hotline that people can call up, and they get connected with a buddy to chat to, and that's virtually 24/7. We've got our corporate training programs that we present to various corporations and businesses, and we've got our Talktober event each October, which is our big raising awareness and fundraising event each year. And it's I've always realised that in order to solve a problem, you've got to be able to shine a light on it, and the brighter the light, the more success that all
more
the
attention.
Absolutely. And I think I was one of those guys that was always in a suit, in my office, and I'm loving the jeans and the shirt and the jacket, and the suit is that armor that makes men feel that they are just invincible. Like, you're wearing a suit, you're such a superstar, and you've got to have it all, and including your mental health. And it's not always the case. The amount of men that reach out to us to want to chat, and I say Male Hug men, but, if that man is the best version of himself, he's a better father, he's a better husband, a better partner, a better brother, a better colleague. And I think the support network around us men is crucial, and that support network plays a really important role. So
no, it does. It's funny you say your suits. I was t-shirts, so I never. I was always the t-shirt guy, and had to learn how to put on the suit, which is incredible, because I'm a creative first. I've always everyone in my community knows that first. Tony, what was then your link with accounting and mental health? Because obviously, you're a professional accountant. You've been servicing clients for over 20 years. Why did you find the link there with mental health?
Well, I say openly that my boardroom was always that safe space where you discuss clients' financial affairs and financial matters and business matters, but invariably conversations always flow to their personal lives as well. So a lot of my clients were not just a transaction. They were basically people that I formed a relationship with, friendship with, and you care about their well-being, their family's well-being. And so from that perspective, I would always know when a client was struggling, as I say, beyond the financial affairs. I mean, you could always see that there were things going on in life, whether it was a divorce or a problem, with family or the personal stuff. You can always pick it. And then they felt comfortable talking about it. So, and around the GFC of 2008, I had a couple of hospitality businesses, and I went through my own challenges in that respect. And it was a very, very tough time. And I found that reaching out and connecting and talking, I went from this accountant to running my own small business, and it was actually a large business. And and you think you've always got the answers, and when you reach out and connect, it's you go a long way towards finding those answers. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I only started that journey 4 years ago, Tony. So
There you go.
I had to go to this incredible seminar that kind of lit that fire for me, and then all that mindset. Couldn't stop reading, couldn't stop watching all the videos to kind of like really get to the core of who really I was. And that's why we wanted you here today, because it really is a part of what we do at Growth Gen, Tony, because the reason why we talk about business and life is because with small business owners, you cannot separate them. Anyone that tells you that they are separating them, they're definitely lying to you, or they're on their way to running a major corporation. Those are the only two things that I always see around that. So important to bring this up. And it's funny you mentioned that how as you as an accountant, you were close to your clients. So Growth Gen, we want to work with a lot of accountants because we want to reach those same small business owners from that perspective. So because we know that will be the core of where a lot of small business owners are going to be, and accountants are the number one people to be around their finances and get to know them. So what are some of the programs? You've mentioned some of the programs that you run. Can you give us maybe some case studies or someone that you've worked with that you thought, wow, what an amazing transformation out of the programs?
Yeah, sure. So when I touch on the professional male demographic as our target audience, and I say that respectfully because that professional male, whether you're an accountant, a lawyer, a financial planner, a doctor, an engineer, and whatever role you play in that environment, but you're looking after pretty much the entire community. So everybody's got one of those: a doctor, a dentist, whoever, whatever you do. So the more you are trained in knowing how to approach a situation and have a conversation, the better off everybody's going to be. So we've worked with organisations like Shaw and Partners, who are a large stockbroking and investment firm, BDO, accountants, the IPA, the Institute of Public Accountants, who have been a wonderful supporter of ours.
Yeah.
We've worked with the young lawyers with the Law Institute of Victoria. And it's really just about raising that awareness, I spoke before about shining a light on the importance of this topic, because, I mean, if you exist on planet Earth, you've got some sort of mental health issue that you're going to have to deal with at some point. And I've worked with some wonderful people like Professor Pat McGorry, who's probably one of the front runners or the leaders in this space. And, Professor McGorry's spoken about the importance of talking, and you unpacking, you're releasing stuff. So just having that conversation without fear of judgment is incredibly important. So we found that our corporate training there's a lot of organisations that are doing mental health training and, wellbeing training and so forth. But I think we like to take a very simple approach in that focus on the simple conversation aspect of it. And then from there, great things can happen. If you need more, then I think, we have a referral program to more, I suppose, expert people in the field. But we want to grab people nice and early on their mental health journey, so that, if you're feeling confused or overwhelmed, or you don't have anybody to talk. We had a person ring our hotline recently who had nobody to speak to. So that was just their concern. They had a good life, but the lack of friendships and feeling lonely and the result of that. So they felt wonderful about being able to connect with us. So we're not dealing with really heavy-handed problems. We're dealing with issues that from the outset could turn to that if people don't address them.
Yeah, I think, I guess it's a lighter approach that you do, which I think is so much more important, because what it does is it gets them to the deeper conversations later onwards with a professional or with a mental health organization that can help them with that. So having those light conversations. So I used to work with one of my clients, actually was a mental health organization as well. And they ran an event with dogs as a way of attracting people in to talk about mental health, to raise awareness of mental health. And it was a fantastic initiative.
Mm-hmm.
We organized that event for them. But the amount of people that came just for the, to bring their dogs, and then having all the mental health organizations lined up there to make that conversation more accessible. These are the type of initiatives and initiatives like yours that will help make those deeper conversations later on for anyone that's involved. And it's not just men, it's also females, everyone. So it's so important to do that. Tony, thank you so much for joining us today. What a fantastic insight into your world. And, we men, we definitely need it, I think, especially opening up those conversations. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tony.
Thanks, Eb. A pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks very much.